shortage of them on that end.
Thank you. There's only a few more.
Yeah? You've got that many of it?
Tom who? Who? But Tom Cruise that more time.
If I see people and they start walking down the path.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Colin. How are you? Sorry, I missed you at the earlier meeting.
Exactly.
I've literally been very fiddly about writing on Christ, but lines.
Oh, hello. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, lean back, please, darling. Just leaning my shot all the time. Thank you.
That's a direct with the blinds.
Yeah, well, he said he knows all those people.
Hello.
Hello,
How's it going? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
Very, very well, thank you. I'm excellent.
Excellent. Well, I mean, but this is a very big premiere.
This is a big premiere,
I know
you're
something
right.
to at the Beefers about stepping out into the
Yes.
public eye. How do you feel about tonight and stepping out?
I think it's the next step of stepping out in front of the public eye. I mean, I just feel so lucky that I'm here. I can't believe that I'm a part of this film, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I really hope that people around the world love it.
And how much of an educational experience was the film? So you get to find swords and you get to...
that's exactly right. Well, you know, it was a huge educational experience, and I learned a lot of things, but the main thing was I learned about myself. It was a huge trigger for me to become, you know, to mold my personality, because I was at that point of change, probably from boy onto young man, and much like Peter was, and so it sort of shaped a lot of my character, and I feel very fortunate that, you know, going through that stage, I was with Narnia the whole way.
Yeah. And you're very protective over the other kids. So,
of course I am. Yeah.
I mean, do you still feel like that?
Of course, you know, the family dynamic will never fall and never falter for us, and we're just very, very close, and it's amazing that we've actually still got that, you know, interaction with each other.
Now, also, I just heard that there was a swear box on set.
Indeed, $2.
Who actually had to pay the most out of all
Between you and me, it was Skandar. Because, you know, I mean, whether he actually paid any money, but he definitely did. He definitely had the most fines. He probably owes that thing about half his earnings in the film. But I don't think he's ever paid any of it, to be quite honest. I mean, it's just a bit of a shame.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Take care. Yeah.
How are you? Annabelle.
Hello, Anna. How are you doing? I'm Rollo.
Right, nice to meet you.
I have to say, I mean, you're out here tonight, so you're in the public eye for like the first time, and signing autographs.
Oh yeah, very weird.
I mean, how's that all feel?
Yeah, it feels a little strange, a little bizarre, but it's nice. It's great that people came to support Narnia, and I feel really lucky to have had the opportunity to be part of it. It's really
Now, the whole film, you know, it's a very magical experience, but what was it like on set? I mean, how magical was it to travel to New Zealand and to see all the stuff going on? And
yeah, it was actually an incredible experience. I mean, people were just so wonderful. We had such a laid-back, relaxed set, and it was just really great fun to do.
Now, of course, the family dynamic. How do you feel about the others? I mean, you know, about the other three kids.
Oh, I love them. I mean, they really have become sort of surrogate brothers and sisters. You know, we all get on like a house on fire, and they really are a real family.
And
Thank you very much.
Really came
Very last question. We know that you and Peter Jackson are very good friends. He's been come out next week.
Yes.
Do you feel any
Encourage others. People go see King Kong, they'll have a good time there and come and see this and vice versa.
I agree, I think you're right.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a wonderful night tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Hey, good, how are you?
Nice to meet you. Well done.
Thank you.
So, I mean, this is a
Now,
big
who are you here with tonight?
I'm here with my class.
Let's meet them all. Let's step back with them.
Well, how long have we got? That was all the things people tell you to stay away from. Children, weather, visual effects, animals. But I would say the thing I was most terrified of was the children. And the thing that I enjoyed most about it were the children. So, the children can be very unpredictable. I was lucky to get a really good family, basically.
Now, lots of people have been going about the religious aspects of the film.
I know, and aren't you just tired of talking about it?
And marketing. I mean, what do you think? What's your opinion on
My feeling is that you can enjoy it with or without any kind of religious belief. A lot of people can enjoy the film and enjoy the books without knowing anything about any of what they're calling allegory, which C.S. Lewis calls supposition. I mean, C.S. Lewis wrote from a position of his personal beliefs, and he was a Christian. I enjoyed the books without knowing any of that. Obviously, I learned that later on. I think it's the same with the movie. You can enjoy it the way you enjoyed the books.
Now, I know there's a swear box on set.
There was what we called the potty mouth bucket.
And how bad were you?
You know what? Occasionally, if I was having a bad day, I would just pay in advance. But normally, I didn't get caught out too much. I'm lucky. I'm not allowed to swear around my mum, so I had good training.
And are you connected to the next production?
Don't know yet. Connected, yes. Whether I direct it or not entirely sure. Not entirely sure that we're going to make it. I'm pretty sure they'll make it. But I'm largely connected to a vacation, and then I'm going to decide after that.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Enjoy the evening.
You too, thanks. Bye-bye.
Little girl here. Oh, missed it.
How you doing?
Are you all right?
Yep, I'm cool.
So how do you feel? You look very energized for this evening.
Yeah, I've just had lots of energy drinks to sort of keep me going, and then.
And how do you feel about meeting the Queen tonight?
Oh, can't wait! It's
Not
gonna
the
be.
Queen, I mean, Charles and
Oh yeah, Prince Charles. Yeah.
So how do
I'm
you-
nervous. I'm really nervous. I'm gonna kind of muck up and sort of accidentally kick them or something.
And also, your character's in the next book, isn't he? So, how do you feel about returning to London?
It'd be great. I'd love to go and do the experience again. It was a great experience the first time, and I mean, I'd really love to go back and sort of, some days I wish I could go onto set one more time and just have that fun again. And so in that atmosphere, it was so great.
Now, William was telling me that you were the worst at swearing on set, swear box. How true is that?
Well, yeah, I have to admit it may have been me, but I paid my money in the end. I paid my money. I put my money in the swear box, and I redeemed myself. Hopefully.
You said you didn't pay.
No, I paid $10, which is we agreed because at the end they realised I'm not going to pay like $100. I'm so paid $10 and the slate was clean.
And how much do you think it was actually worth at the end of the day?
The entire potty mouth bucket.
Well, how much do you think you actually needed to pay?
I needed to pay a rather embarrassing amount. It was sort of like 100, 150. Georgie kept like a tab, and I'm sorry.
Control of all of you, Georgie.
Yeah, no, we can knock her down though if we want.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Thank
Cool.
you. Take
Thank
care.
you. So, hey!
Where is it? It's not Narnia.
Well, it's like going and doing what can you make?
No. James McAvoy in the kilt.
Yes, I've got him.
I need your help. I know, but understand. The future of Narnia rests in your courage.
If it's a war, astronomy.
I go into my character by getting into a pair of green tights every morning and generally phoning around.
Are you okay? Just two questions at the moment. We're so behind.
When I was about 11, and I read it last when I was about.
The character of Susan is an interesting one. In the book, she's perhaps one of the least developed of the characters.
Okay, perfect. Let's move on. Marie's just gone on. We're going to get her later. Okay.
Hi James, I'm Rollo. How you doing?
Hello, Rollo.
Are you well?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Excellent. I just want to know, how do you do the leg thing? I mean, they're quite difficult to do.
The leg thing, I basically stood on my tiptoes and bent my knees and pandered around in green tights for 7 months. And that was as easy as it was. Yeah, it was pretty weird. But, there was a lot of people walking around with weird outfits on, so it kind of made me feel a little bit more at home.
Okay, now a lot of people have been going on about religious aspects of the film.
Yeah.
Whether it should be sold as marketing as religious.
Yeah.
What do you think about the religious aspect?
I think if there is a religious character in it, it's probably Aslan, and he's not the lead character actually. It's about 4 children, and their story isn't necessarily a hugely, particularly Christian one. So I can see why people want to draw that from the film, because if that's your life, then you see your life reflected in art, the way that Narnia is a piece of art, it's a piece of storytelling art. And but the story's not about the Jesus figure, if you believe that he is the Jesus figure, you know. It's about 4 children actually, and a completely different story than the story of Jesus.
And just finally, how bad were you at the swear box?
Pretty bad. Pretty bad. I owe about $80, so see you later.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you, mate?
Good, thank you.
Hi mate, just so really to give you a tip on a ride.
It was funny because even the first edition when I had to go, we were just saying earlier that we just had a connection. So
This is Carrie Granite.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Great, thanks.
Excellent. So first of all, how do you feel about being here tonight and having a royal premiere?
I couldn't think of a better premiere to have for this film ever than this. This is like my dream premiere.
Excellent. I mean, how do you get Prince Charles on the smile?
That's Disney. We owe them a debt of gratitude on this kind of, it's fantastic. And hopefully he read the books as a child and loved them, so.
Now, a lot of people have been going on about the religious aspects and things like that of the film. What's your opinion about the religious aspects?
When we did our deal with the C.S. Lewis estate to get the rights to this property at Walden, we promised them one thing, an incredibly faithful adaptation of the book. There are going to be people who will read that who are not religious and say, I love the books for what the story is. There will be people who read the books as Christian allegory who will appreciate the fact that we've been faithful to the story. So it satisfies all audiences.
And as the chronicles go on, they become slightly more overtly religious.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We have a great take on the material, and I think people are going to be surprised where we head with Prince Caspian and with Dawn Treader.
So what can we expect?
You can expect, hopefully, this series to continue to grow. You can expect the quality of the series to continue to grow, and hopefully you can expect a lot of surprises tied to the mythology that C.S. Lewis created.
Now, also I wanted to, you've got a computer game out as well, so
yes.
Computer game. How far, when did you decide to do a computer game? Did it start from the
2 years before the film came out.
So is it something that's in conjunction with the filmmaking?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of the shared elements were involved.
So how does that work?
We visual effects supervisors work together with the gaming people, the developers, and the publishers so that the environments are accurate, the characters are accurate, and then we give them all of the modeling textures from the visual effects process so that they can use it to design the same creatures in the game.
Fascinating. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
PTV.
Hello, how are you?
Are you
Good
well?
to meet you. I'm well indeed.
Nice to meet you. So, getting this film onto the screen, I mean, why and when did you decide that you should approach studios and get it put on the screen?
Well, of course, I've always wanted to make this movie since I was a teenager, but I've had to wait until, and everybody else has had to wait, until the technology has got to the stage where we can really do justice to these people, these characters, this wonderful fantasy. And that's only in the last, well, we couldn't have made it 5 years ago. Even 2 years ago, we would have been pushed to shoot this movie as we have. And our technical teams and artistic teams have done such a wonderful job that what you see now is so real that it's hard to believe that you're not in Narnia.
Because, I mean, I was reading in The Guardian the other day that C.S. Lewis said that he didn't want a live-action film made in the film, but that was...
Well, when he wrote that in 1959, I would have agreed with him. Things have changed since then, much for the better in terms of cinema technology.
Now, of course, a lot of people are going on about the religious aspects of the film and about religious groups using the films to promote their own religious groups. What do you think about this whole argument?
I think it's a storm in a sea cup, if you know what I mean. I think it's been blown out of all proportion. What we have done with this film is to produce a very fair and straight, faithful adaptation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe book. What you see in the book, you will see on the screen. Let the viewer make their own minds up. Stop telling people what to believe. You know, let's just get her done.
Exactly. And how much control do you have over the filmmaking process and things like
Well, we haven't worked on a control base. It's been more a collaborative thing. I mean, we've all discussed various issues and come to compromises. And quite frankly, I've enjoyed every minute of it because I have such a great team to work with. We all started on the same page. We all wanted to make a faithful adaptation of the book. That's what we've done.
And the next you've got your work cut out because you've got...
We've raised the bar pretty high, and we've got to get better next time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so what can we expect from the next one, do you think?
It's very difficult to say. I think that we're going to try to make the sequel, if you like, the next movie, even better than the first one. I imagine that over the next 2 years, technology will increase even more so. I mean, it's continually advancing all the time. We will utilize, as we make the next movie, if the public give us a chance to do so by supporting this one, we'll utilize all the very most modern techniques that we can. We have a wonderful team, and I hope they all join us on the next movie. So look out for a really great next movie.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you indeed.
Enjoy
Pleasure.
the evening.
Thank you.
I'll check, but I don't think so. How many do you have here? You wanted Mark Johnson, didn't you?
Huh?
You wanted...
I don't know whether... Is this him?
This is Mark Johnson.
This is Mark Johnson. Okay, well, yeah, we can do it. If we've got time, then...
He's in the press conference.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case, because otherwise...
There's a little quite nice location.
Where is it?
Just behind...
I'm going to bring you Mark, that's right now. I'm just going to...
Okay.
The C.S. Lewis books, the Chronicles of Narnia, their origins are
Hello. How you doing? Mark, nice to meet you.
So, what do you think is the appeal of Narnia in general?
I think it's a classic tale of good and evil with great values of the family and compassion and forgiveness, but most of all, just a wonderful story.
Now, this is a huge production, huge amount of millions production, basically. How do you cope looking after so much money and so much things, and you had people helicoptered to set? I mean, how do you not have a nervous breakdown?
I think I may have. I certainly haven't slept in a long time. No, the main thing is you have to forget about the fact that it's such a huge production and remember to get the story right and the characters right. And if the heart of the movie's there, then all the rest is, I don't want to say it's easy, but it'll follow.
Now, of course, I mean, I have to ask this question about the religious groups who are using Narnia to sort of try and advertise, their own groups. What do you think about all that, and what's your take on it?
I think it's each individual will find whatever he wants to find in the film, and I think that if you found certain values or it spoke to you in a particular way as a book, it will as a movie also. So I think it really belongs to everyone, and all of us see it in different ways.
Now, of course, I mean, you're obviously going on to the next project, the next Narnia film.
Do you think so? Well, this one hasn't even opened yet. We have to see.
So, I mean, it's a big undertaking. Do you think you'll be there all the way through, or do you, I mean...
Oh, I will. If we start another one, I'll be there every step of the way. This was such a magical experience making it, and we are, I really do feel as though we're a family. So they're not going to get rid of me that easily.
And I just also want to ask about the computer game, because the computer game is coming out at the same time as the film. How much involvement do you have in the computer game?
A fair amount. Andrew Adamson, the director, was involved completely in a computer game, so that's why the game is so similar and it has such relevance to the film itself.
How important is it for a film to have a computer game?
I've never had a film before have a computer game. I think a film like this, it's a great added appeal, and could be. I'm sorry, I keep looking at myself up there on the screen. I'm thinking, what am I doing up there? No, I think that for a film like this, I think a young audience would be very disappointed if they didn't have a game to go along with it.
This film is almost as big as, it is the games industry and the movie industry.
That's right.
So, I mean, is that...
The games industry is making a lot more money than the movie industry these days.
So, okay, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, how are you? Bob Iger from Disney. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. How are you doing?
Good. Look at you.
Huh?
Look
yes,
at you.
If you look at me. So first and foremost, how's it feel to be here tonight and having Charles and Camilla coming along and, this big Disney production?
I think everything about tonight is exciting. It's great being in London this time of year. Extremely excited about the movie. a royal premiere. What more could you want? And great weather, just wonderful. And snow, it's snowing.
It's amazing, real snow. Well,
Yes,
maybe not right.
Narnia and snow.
Yeah. Now the appeal of the film, I mean, it's appealed to people over time basically. Why do you think that is? What do you think it's got?
Well, it's universal in terms of storytelling, universal in terms of character, just a lot to relate to. A story seen through the eyes of children. When we put the Disney name on a film, it typically has universal appeal, and that's what Narnia is. It's just a tale that has been told over time that'll be told for hopefully many, many years to come.
Now, Walt Disney's offered, I mean, it's granted permission for some religious groups to use things about Narnia to sort of like to use as part of their religious sort of programs. Do you worry about using religious and marketing things and mixing and, you know, things like that? I mean, is it an issue?
No, it's not an issue. We set out to turn a wonderful book into a great movie, and that's what we did, a movie that we believe everyone will love. I remember my daughters reading it as kids, as they entered their teenage years, and I know that this movie, because it is something that tracks the book, is so respectful of the book, is going to have great appeal to everyone and be a very successful movie, regardless of some of the things that are being said about it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Oh, I want to ask you one last question. How important do you think it is, because there's a game coming out with the film as well, how important is it to have a game connected with a film?
Well, I don't think it's overly important, but I think it's a nice thing to be able to do. I think it's a good business approach to put a film out, in this case a video game that actually preceded the film in the market. It's not only another way of marketing the film, but it's another way of keeping it alive in the marketplace. And it's a great game, so I feel good about that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Tilda Swinton has started on Hi there. We're getting very warm ears here. It's kind of great. Those of us who are taller. Yeah. And to be as frightening as I would have.
No.
Hi. We have in about 5 minutes Kelly Brook and Billy Zane coming. Do you want to
Okay.
speak?
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Dear. Hello there. Hello again. Very well, thank you.
Excellent. I want to ask you, I mean, how scared are you about the fact that kids are going to be scared of you from now on?
I'm up for it. I knew it from the beginning. That was part of the deal, you know. My friend Derek Jarman told me a great story about how he was once on a subway train when he was in his 40s, and he was terrified of this little lady standing beside him and didn't understand why until she walked along the platform and he saw her profile, and she was the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm ready for it.
Is it good being evil? I mean, is it, you know?
Well, it seems to be.
Now, I hear there's a swear box on set.
There was a swear box on set.
How bad were you?
They didn't dare. They didn't dare ask me to pay any debts.
Okay, and the religious aspect of the film, a lot of people are going on about it. What's your take on things about the religious?
What religious aspect? It doesn't really mean anything to me, to be honest. I didn't read it as a religious book. That's not what I'm looking for. And so I didn't see it, but I'm sure those people who are looking for something will find it.
And finally, how do you feel about being here tonight? And this very great project?
It's very, very surreal, I think. I wasn't quite expecting this, but I love the blue carpet. Makes a change.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Hello there.
See you again. Hello.
I'm also to you about taking on this role because it's like taking a great it's choosing your life.
How are you? Hi. Hi, Monica Lyle-Breyer. How are you?
Very nice.
That is very spectacular.
Very sure.
Is it warm? Yeah. You better walk fast. Well, good to have you. Not, I think, right now. It's just here. Oh, wow, it's really long.
Hello, how are you? Yes, I know everyone's freezing.
I'm not. How much of a fan of Narnia are you?
Oh, since I was a kid. I mean, this is such an amazing event. Wow, she looks beautiful. Very theatrical. No, it's great, especially Christmas, to come back to London to see my family and then come to an amazing event like this and, you know, see such an incredible looking film on the big screen and at such a classy location. It's going to be a nice night.
And what are your plans for Christmas?
My plans for Christmas with my family, obviously, you know, spend all year running around busy, so I will definitely be with my family. London, Chicago, so between the two.
Is Billy going to join you for Christmas?
Yeah, hopefully. Yes. Thank you.
Well, stay there with Dad.
Wait
with me, wait.
Hello, Ray.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. I've got the mob with me, look. Hello, me cheek. Yeah.
So, I mean, great job in this film. You're a beaver.
Well, I haven't seen the film, but I've heard it's very, very good. I'm looking forward. I'm very excited about seeing it actually because it's something I remember. A story I remember from school, and it is kind of part of our heritage. And that's the great thing about being a part of something like this, you know. Great stories, and they haven't messed with it. They haven't Hollywooded it, you know. It's all right. It's still a bit of us. It's ours, you know. That's what I love about it.
Because I was wondering, I mean, with the film, because it seems, do you ad-lib quite a bit in your part?
We played with it a little bit. I mean, the script was good enough, to be honest with you. And it weren't as if you was in a booth with me and Dawn, like where we could bounce off of one another, because obviously she's off doing something else, and they just don't work it that way for some reason. I don't know why. But, you know, once you relax, you get into it and you take liberties with it, and they keep in what they want to keep in and take out what they want to take out. So, yeah, we had fun with it.
Do you ever think you'd end up being a beaver?
No, not in my wildest dreams. I didn't grow up thinking like when I was about 8, you know what, I think I'm going to grow up to be a beaver one day. No, I didn't think so. I thought I might have been a lion or something like that. Who's the lion in it? It's well, he's a blinding lion. You know, you'd follow him, wouldn't you? He's like a king, so yeah, I can see that.
And finally, there was a swear box on set. Obviously, you weren't quite on set.
No.
But how bad do you think you'd be if you...
I never swear around children. Never. Little bastards. Never. No, I'd have probably done a fortune.
Thank you.
They'd have had to take a check, though, I'll tell you. Take care.
Thank you, Ray.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
No, it's actually where the greeting of the royals. That'll be Roger. You have a ticket that, even though we're not part of the greeting, we get to go to the room where the booze is. We'll all be up there. And they have this. I don't actually. No.
Should we start here? Let's start here at ABTN.
Wow.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Very good.
Excellent. How do you feel about being here tonight and having a royal premiere?
I feel just so excited and so amazed and just, yeah, great.
Cool. And now, of course, you're going to be returning for next month, hopefully. So how do you feel about that, going back to Narnia?
Well, I'm just going to take it as it comes, you know, see what happens. It would be great to play Lisa Penalty again if I was chosen.
Now, I hear there's a swear box on set, and I hear that you...
A potty mouth bucket.
I hear that you were sort of like taking notes. So, I mean, who was the worst person on set?
Skandar Keynes, the guy who plays Edmund. Shh.
How much did he owe?
About $80. He thought he could pay it back with $10, but oh no, he was wrong. He needs $80, at least $100.
So were you ever caught out? Did you ever actually give anything to the potty?
Nope. I'm a little girl.
You seem to be running the set all the time from things I know.
Oh no, never, never, never.
Well, have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much.
Take care. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Maybe there'll have to be another one.
Hello, Jim. How
Hi.
are you doing? Are you well?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. So, I mean, were you slightly upset that you weren't involved in any of the big special effects scenes in this film?
Yeah, well, I think it's the children who get to go through into Narnia, not the grown-ups, you know. So I don't mind that. I was happy for them to go and have that fun. I've had my share of special effects work in the past.
A bit of the pain in the arse.
Well, no, I loved it actually. I had a great time. And the Borrowers, I'm thinking of particularly, where I played somebody who was that big, so that involved a lot of special effects. But I found it good fun. Yeah.
And what do you think is the appeal of Narnia? Because it does really capture people's imagination.
Yeah, I think it is exactly that. It is the imagination. It's the journey of the imagination, and which all kids love. That stepping through into a magical world. We're all, as kids, invent our own magical worlds, and this sort of does that in spades and makes it. And I think it's timelessly exciting for any children to make this journey into some other world.
And what do you think? There's been a lot of talk about the religious aspects of the film and religious groups going behind it and showing special.
I mean, it's as goodies and baddies. I think that's films since they started being made have always been about goodies and baddies and right triumphing over wrong and good and evil, and that's what films are about. And the stories not particularly religious. I don't think didn't have any effect on the way I approach my part anyway.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Jim. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a nice evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Christmas number one. So to me, the animation first has to have this sense of weight and believability. It doesn't have
Oh, look, now you know when you go
Conversely, we're saying Cliff, have a quick word over here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm Rollo from Associated Press. How are you doing?
Hi, fine.
So what do you love about Narnia? You're obviously here to watch the film tonight, so what is it about Narnia that you think?
Well, I've always liked sort of fantasy or, anything like that. I like it's an extraordinary story. The fact that somebody could get into another world through a wardrobe fascinates me instantly. As soon as I hear that kind of storyline, I think I've got to see it. But I also like the fact that it is definitely one of the best of the good v evil books. And I always thought it was a wonderful idea that he wrote it for children. Children could understand and get a message through it, a really solid, a Christian message, of course. And I love it that he did it in a way that is totally 100% entertaining. No boredom at all in it.
Now, I mean, people have been going on about the Christian, element of this, and about a lot of religious groups have been using it to sort of get people involved. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what he did. That his idea was to present a faith without it being boring and without being obvious. And I think he did it brilliantly. Children read it, they will get something special from it. Even if they don't necessarily believe in the end what he believed, but they'll still get the definition of real goodness and real sacrifice and unconditional love. I want that in every movie I go to see.
Okay, what's your plans for Christmas?
My what?
Your plans for Christmas?
My best.
Your plans for Christmas?
My plans? Oh, I'm not quite sure yet, but I might go somewhere where it's white. But I usually stay at home, but definitely New Year I'm going to be in Barbados.
Have a nice time.
Thank you very much, thank you. I find them easy to digest. I now know basically what they're about, but I still find it
Excuse me.
It's just one question. question.
Just one?
Just
oh,
one, yeah.
no, okay. Sarah. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, fine,
So,
thank you.
What do you think is the appeal of Narnia? What do you think it is
It's one of the best children's stories ever. I mean, it's a classic. It's the best.
And I'm going to ask about X Factor.
Oh.
How do you think it's all going to end up?
In tears. Always in tears. Because somebody has to lose.
Hi, Sharon. It's Martin from GMTV. Hello, Dawn.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
ABTN.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to see you too.
How are you doing?
Not bad. Not bad. Quite looking forward to getting inside now. Out of the snow. Have you noticed the snow? And do you know something? It's not even real. It's not real snow. But that's how clever these people are.
And they're so clever that you would have been through it.
Yeah, I am Mrs. Beaver. Can you believe that? I'm amazed by it. I was a bit worried that we might be asked to have big...
Oh,
you're back again. Good.
Did you ever think that you'd ever play a beaver in a film?
No, I never thought I'd play a beaver in a film, and I can't be tempted towards beaver jokes because they're very rude and there's many of them, and so I must not do that. But no one has ever asked me to play a beaver before, and I woke up one day and I thought, if anyone asks me to play a beaver, I'm going to say yes. And then the next day I got the call. Fantastic. Magical.
It's amazing.
Magical.
There was a swear box on set, and I know you obviously worked on set.
Yes, although I did visit the set, just not being asked to go to New Zealand wasn't a reason not to pop in. So I did pop in, as it happens. Yeah, I went to the set and surprised them all by popping by, but I didn't swear at all.
So no.
There are some actors that can't control themselves, James McAvoy, but I can't name them.
Okay,
I'm going to go now.
Yes,
nice
take care.
To meet you.
Bye.
Okay.
The infrastructure you need to make a movie of this size.